In this video, King Bullet took several stabs at me specifically, and then he went through my video and tried to debunk it. And to solve all our differences, we basically had this one big 4-hour debate, and it was 3 parts, and I won 2 of them, meaning I won the entire debate. So I don't know why he's still coming for me, especially when he asked for help to find books in Japanese. So the same guy who claims that my translations were disingenuous is also asking me for Japanese help. Isn't that a bit ironic? Well, anyways, so before we begin, I'd really appreciate if you hit the subscribe button. I'll be trying to upload some more content to YouTube. So for now, just sit back and enjoy the video.
Power is given a divine state gifted from an ancestor of all ninja, who uses the principles of all of existence to control the universe. Once again using the term Shinra Bansho, which in this case is more obvious that they're referring to the universe.
So I have no idea what Jisho you used or what dictionary you used, but this is not one of the most reliable dictionaries to use. So my professor recommended jisho.org because it's a really accurate dictionary, and even Google states that it's reliable or one of the most reliable. So when you type in Shinra Bansho, it does not come up with all things in the universe. It says all things in nature, the whole of creation. Even in some of the other fan translations that people have translated, which isn't me, they stated that it was not Shinra Bansho meaning all things in the universe. They used exactly what's stated here, which is all things in nature. This is just straight cap. Whereas this is what it should say. Also, if you read this carefully, it says the divine state is gifted from the ancestor of ninja that uses the principles of all creation to command all things in nature. He's talking about Izanagi, the ability. And the person that uses Izanagi happens to be an ancestor of Naruto, who gives this divine gift to Naruto. So Naruto is not the person who commands all things in nature. And then if you read it in conjunction with the paragraph, like the actual explanation, it says only those who carry these traits will be given power from the Sage of 6 Parts for the first time. So we clearly know that they're talking about Hagoromo is the one with the power, or the ability to create. As we know, we don't see Naruto using Izanagi, instead he's using the Sage of 6 Parts Sage Mode. So that's the gift that he was given. Not the power to bust universes like this weird fan translation.
Kaguya is capable of threading, weaving, creating dimensions. I know you have a certain person in the community who thinks this isn't like an actual creation feat for some reason, even though it literally is. The person who thinks this assumes it's like recycling. But that doesn't even matter.
So if you actually read the panel, in no way, shape or form does the actual panel, like I'm talking about the paragraph, you read these entire paragraphs, it doesn't say once that this ability creates dimensions. What it says is that it's able to connect people to different dimensions. So in the first paragraph it says it's a technique that Kaguya, who owns the Rin Sharingan, uses. In an instant she can move the world she's in together with other people to a different dimension. So she's not creating dimensions, she can just move between dimensions.
You see a portal open, people go through, they come out the other end. That's pretty much what the Ame no Minaka is. It is not a dimension creating ability. So if that's the case, does Kaguya actually create her dimensions? Now that's the real question, because she's never been proven to do so within the actual anime, nor has she been proven to do so within the manga. Nor has anyone in the entire Naruto verse ever proven to create an entire dimension or a universe. It's never been stated, and it's never been shown. And Kaguya used the truth-seeking orb, and it's stated that it would be the start of a new time space. But even this in itself is not sufficient enough to prove a dimension creation, because the start of a new time space doesn't necessarily mean that you're creating a time space, it's just the start.
Story is kind of shown once she's unlocked the third eye, she literally opens a portal to another dimension, meaning that quickly she's made it. And remember, creation is...
So apparently creating a portal is the equivalent of creating an entire universal dimension. But as I explained before, this is clearly a teleportation ability and nothing more. And is no one going to mention the fact that this is a filler episode? This is episode 460, check it out, it's a filler.
And the final nail in the coffin. When Ishiki says he's taken Naruto and Sasuke to a different dimension, Ishiki removed Naruto's village, kind of implying they are parallel universes.
Kind of implying is an assumption. Look at the panel, it says a world. Your own scans debunk your own scaling.
And come on, every time you search up like parallel dimensions, it show you like a multiverse.
So basically, he goes through and translates every time it says isekai to parallel universe, based on proof from the canon manga, which is the main source material. we know that isekai means parallel world, not universe. And that's because each time Viz has translated sekai, it's been world. So based on how they've translated sekai to mean world, specifically referring to Kaguya's worlds or Momoshiki's worlds, this means that they're referring to worlds instead of universes, because that's what was translated and proven from the manga. Because official Viz translations are more reliable than fan translations.
It encloses the power of all creation or existence, a chaos-invoking jet black orb. Now the term used by all of creation or all of existence is once again Shinra Bancho, which does usually refer to universe as we established earlier on. Even if you think it doesn't, that's fine. We know it's actually stated within the manga that the expanding truth-seeking orb actually expands and covers the entire time-space, resetting it. And we know that the dimension is referred to as a parallel dimension. You might have seen this other translation going around saying it rather seals the power of all of the chakra types. However, chakra is never mentioned at all.
If you look at the yellow highlighted parts, it states this: the power of all chakra types is sealed inside a huge black ball of chaos. But according to this guy,
however, chakra is never mentioned. However, chakra is never mentioned. However, chakra is never mentioned.
Again, if you look at the bottom of the orb panel and you look at the yellow section that I've highlighted, it says chakura. Here is the kanji. I guess that Google Translate didn't come through for you this time, didn't it?
There is this part about creation and destruction of a world. So what the person's done here has been really smart and added in parts that aren't mentioned at all, but do actually relate to the expanding truth-seeking orb. However, the person is actually being disingenuous since those terms aren't actually mentioned.
Kinshiki stated Kaguya no Sekai, in other words, Kaguya's world. That's what Viz officially translated it to be, as you can see in the translation. Because they translated Kinshiki's statement to be world for Sekai, this would mean that this particular kanji here would also be world, not universe, even though Sekai can mean several things. So after the dot here, it says create the world again. So here is where they put the kanji for world, or Sekai. Here is the kanji for create, or skuri. As you can see, here's the definition for skuri. And here's the kanji for again, which is kais. And it can mean return, or back again, or pay back, etc. So as you can see, in the bottom line here, I put even reshapes the world, because when you put the word like create again, so it's like recreating or reshaping the world, that's what it means together. Now, in the middle sentence is where you can see the power to let the world come to naught. That's where the destruction part comes in.
However, it mentions that Zeshi is used, so after looking into it, the term might actually be related to Buddhism evolution, which means it's the law of creation and destruction.
Here he claims that he was the one who explained Zeshi, which is the law of destruction and creation, but this is word for word what I wrote at the bottom of the translation. So I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and just assume that you didn't understand what you were translating or reading, and that's why you thought parts were incorrect, or you didn't translate the bottom part underneath the orb, because that's probably why you didn't understand where the power of all chakra types is sealed inside the black ball came from. So that brings us to the end of this video. If you see any other weird translations, just send me a message on Discord. Otherwise, don't forget to subscribe. Peace.